everybody, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, I just want to welcome you to my crazy life. I do a lot of different stuff on my channel. I do vlogs, health, beauty, fashion. So I really hope you guys go check out some more of my videos. But in today's video, I am going to be showing you guys how I edit my pictures on Instagram. And this is a super highly requested video. I have had thousands of you guys asking how I edit my pictures. So today's the day you're going to be learning how to edit. So really quick, in the past month, I have been using a professional camera for my pictures. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to edit with an iPhone picture. I do believe that iPhone pictures are almost just as great as a professional camera. There's some effects that you can't do on an iPhone that you can do on a camera, but for the most part, iPhone pictures are amazing. So I am really excited about this video and teaching you guys how I edit, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So stay tuned if you'd like to see more of this video. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is show you guys the 3 different apps that I use when I'm editing. And the first one is all the way to the left in the middle, and it's called Lightroom. And I really love this one for making brightness and adjusting the color and tones. And then the next one that I use is called VSCO, and this one's right smack dab in the middle. It's the white one. So with this one, I like to use it for different coloring effects and actually keeping the same color scheme on my Instagram feed. And then at the bottom middle is called AIRBRUSH, and the AIRBRUSH one I really love because if I have any acne or anything going on, it really helps with that. So those are the 3 apps I use, and the first thing I'm going to do is go into Lightroom, and this is the first app I go into when editing. I'm going to go ahead and edit one of me and Lola. Okay, so here is the picture, and this is the before. So the first thing I'm going to do is tap light right here. And then I'm going to start adjusting the exposure and contrast and highlight and just making sure it's as bright as I want it to be. So I'm going to start off with exposure and just kind of play around with it and see how bright. I normally don't like to do this too bright. So I'm going to do like around 30 for that one. So now I'm taking the contrast and making it a little more in depth. I really like making it stand out. And then highlights and stuff, you can see highlights kind of just brighten my face, which my face was already really bright. So I'm going to make that a little bit negative. And then I really like the whites and the blacks because whatever is white in the picture, it'll really brighten that white. So you can see her fur is just getting whiter and whiter. So I'm just going to do a little bit for that because we're already pretty bright today. Okay, and that's pretty much it, what I do with exposure and contrast. And then the next thing I'm going to do is go into color right here. And this is where it gets not necessarily tricky, but you could spend a lot of time adjusting your color. So the temperature, I just kind of see, you know, I like cooler tones. So I'm gonna make the temperature a little cooler, and that will make it more towards like the blue family. And then you can look at tint, play around with that. I really don't play around with that too much. And then saturation, I don't really play around with. And then up at the top right here, it says mix. So you click that, and this is probably one of the coolest things Lightroom has because you can pick any color that's right here and you can see it in the picture and tap, say, okay, there's a lot of orange in this picture. You can tap that orange and either you can make it really orange or you can completely take out the orange in the picture. So if you have a weird background that you don't like, you can completely change it to a different shade, a different color. And then the luminance you can make brighter. So whatever that color is, say that's orange, you can make it darker. So like if I wanted to look more tan, I would take that orange luminance and just make it a little darker so that my skin can look a little bit more tanned. So it's really cool. I'm gonna take the saturation out a little bit. So yeah, let's say, okay, so my eyes are green, so I'm gonna tap the green one and take the saturation and put it all the way up so that my eyes are a little bit more green, and I could even make them a little bit brighter. So it's gonna find the color in the picture and it's either gonna brighten it or really play with it and do whatever to it. Okay, so my lips are kind of pink, so I'm gonna kind of make them a little bit darker. Okay, so I really like how this looks, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the before and after. So there's the before, and here's the after. You can just see it's really bright and a little bit more cooler tone. It just looks a little bit more professional. So I like how this looks, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit the check mark and save it. Okay, so now from here, I'm gonna go ahead and go into VSCO, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add the photo that I just edited with Lightroom. and go ahead and add that in here. So now I'm gonna hit these 2 black lines with the little dots on them. And that brings you to the filters and also the exposure and stuff. So right now, my favorite filter that I use is called U3. That's my favorite one. I always bring it down to about like level 6 because I don't like it to be too filtered. So I'm gonna put it on 6 today. And I'm gonna show you the before and after really quick. So it really changed the whole tone and coloring of the picture, which when you're posting on Instagram, if you want a feed that flows, you definitely wanna use the same filters so that all the filters kind of like are cohesive and flow together. So I really love how this looks. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Okay, so now what I normally do, this is really good lighting, it's a really good picture, so I don't have to do much to it, but I'll go to these little white lines and little dots. And then if I still want to adjust like contrast or exposure, I'll go ahead and do it in here. So I'll just kind of adjust it a little more, make it a little bit darker. And then I'll kind of slide it over to temperature, and I'll kind of make it a little cooler tone if I want, or warmer toned. So you can do a little bit more adjusting. Those people use just Lightroom and they can make their own, you know, tones and shades, but I kind of like to go into Lightroom and VSCO. And then your skin tone right here, you could make it a little bit more pinky if you want, or a little bit more green. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it where it's at and hit save. Okay, so that is pretty much it with how to edit the exposure and the tones and coloring. Now that that's in my camera roll, I'm gonna go into AIRBRUSH. And I really don't use AIRBRUSH a whole lot unless I have a really bad breakout on my face. But I'll go ahead and go into AIRBRUSH. And I can hit the acne one, and you can kind of zoom in on your face. You use your fingers to zoom in, and you can just see any little like blemishes I may have. You just tap on them and they disappear. So, and you can see sometimes like I just tapped that and it kind of like messed up the coloring, so you just hit erase. There's 2 arrows on the bottom left. Okay, so I'm gonna tap my eye. So see what it just did to my eye? You just hit that arrow at the bottom left and it erases it. So that's the cool thing about that. If you mess up, you can always hit back. Most of the time after I use the filters, I really don't have to do much to my face because it does hide it, but there's still those some little tiny dots. Okay, so now that I'm done, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the before. So this is the before, and this is the after. Alright, well that wraps up this video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it so much and learned a lot about editing from your iPhone and just how super easy it is to do and just all the possibilities you can do with your feed. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more videos on Paige Danielle. Don't forget to like this video and comment down below if you have any other video suggestions. And also don't forget to check in the description box. I will be leaving the information from these apps that I use today. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!